All right, entrepreneurs, welcome. Hi, it's Terry Levine here. Glad to be back with you and bringing you even more value. And I am so excited to have with me kind of the secret sauce behind entrepreneur, someone that I definitely consider a friend, someone that I truly endorse, and that has helped work all of the magic behind the modern coaching method and so much more in my business. So if you haven't yet met him, here is Tanner Smith. Tanner, welcome and thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Terry. This is great. This is the first Facebook Live I've ever been on. So,
oh, wow. I feel really
excited
honored that you're with us. Yay.
Yeah.
And those of you who are dropping in, say hi in the comments. Let us know who you are, where you're from. And Tanner, I'm going to kind of turn it over to you because we're going to reveal some really special things that have been happening. Hi, Regina. Good to have you. And you're going to get a kind of a background look at what happens. Hi, Ken. Hi, Sandy. Ms. Lightning and Mr. Atomic. You got that right. All right. So we're going to get started. Tanner, I'm just going to let you kick it off. Tell people who you are, what you do, and we'll roll.
Awesome. Yeah. So, I'm basically a digital marketing nerd. Like there's that Geek Squad that people can have come set up their computers. I'm kind of the Geek Squad for coaches and consultants and authors, other entrepreneurs that are looking to set up their online courses and online programs and get them selling and scaling. So something that's pretty cool is, we've been working with Terry now for a little bit. And yeah, I guess I am kind of the secret sauce behind the scenes. I've kind of been the, Wizard of Oz behind the curtain until now. And so today, the purpose of this presentation I've kind of put together is to kind of give you guys a behind the scenes look at the approach, the methodology that we've been implementing with Terry to help get her courses and programs out there and to make it super profitable, eliminate all risk if possible, as much as we possibly can, and to help her scale her programs up. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and let me know if you guys can see this.
Let's see, not yet. Hang on.
There we go. Can you guys see this okay?
All right, hang on. It's coming. Yeah, we can see it. How exciting.
Perfect.
Yay.
So the purpose of today, we're doing a special case study. This is how we made, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's actually over 30K now. Terry, how much exactly is it?
I will tell you exactly. 42,000.
Oh, 42,000. Great. So this is a little, it's been a minute since I actually checked the numbers, but this is how we made $42,000 in 60 minutes with Terry Levine's Modern Coaching Method launch. So really quick, who is this information for? This is for coaches, consultants, course creators, business experts. This is for people that know what they do, what they're good at, and what their expertise is in. I really can't help you, or this information isn't going to really apply if you're not sure yet what to sell or what you're good at. There's a lot of other programs and other methods and models out there for you, but this is for really somebody that knows their expertise and has a lot of value to provide to their target market. This is also especially relevant if you're struggling to sell your product or program, right? If you feel like there's a lot of inconsistency, maybe there's a lot of ebbs and flows in that process. And especially if you have an automated webinar, but you don't understand your KPIs or your goals, if you don't understand what your target objectives are, then this is really going to be valuable for you. And what I mean by that is, I'll talk to a client or, I'll talk to somebody. I say, okay, what's your average cost per registration? Or what's your average view, like full view on your your automated webinar? And like most people tell me, I have no idea. So this really is for you if, you don't understand exactly how much it's costing you per click, how much it's costing you per, webinar registration, how much it's costing you to actually get a full view, how much it's costing you to get a purchase into your program. And my goal, really Terry and I's goal for this training is to show you guys the only true scientific way to sell and scale your online product or program. And this isn't something that's hypothetical. This is battle tested. This has been behind the scenes. We've implemented this. And this is my system that I've put together over the last 8 years. So really quick before we get started, we're not saying that you're going to make $30,000 or $42,000 in 60 minutes or make anything for that matter. I just got to cover our bases here. Terry and I have the combined benefit of practicing digital marketing, branding, and business for 4 decades. So these are simply, our results only. You could make more than that, you could make less than that, or you guys can make nothing at all. It's totally just up to how you implement, and everyone's different. So really quick, let's talk about the hard way. And the hard way really is, I'd say, the most common way. And it feels a lot like this guy right here pushing this boulder, where, you feel like you're pushing with all your might and you just can't get this thing to budge. You might get it to rock a little bit and you're like, it's moving. And it kind of comes back and falls back into the same spot that it was previously. And, really that's because most people, when they try to sell or create a program, they say, okay, I'm going to sell this to my audience. I know who my target audience is. I'm going to sell it for this much money. I want to create this offer and I'm going to sell it for X. Then what they do is they spend, hours and hours and hours, sometimes months, even years creating that product before they ever even know if it's going to fly, if people are going to buy it, if it even resonates well, if it even solves or touches a pain point of their audience. And then what they try to do is say, listen, now that I've got this product, I'm going to set this evergreen funnel so that I can totally take myself out of the process and I can create a machine that I put $1 in and I get $2 out, right? And then essentially what ends up happening is they're wrestling with Facebook, other media buying, other, maybe email blasts that they have, trying to get that evergreen funnel to work. And essentially what happens is it's a lot of inconsistency and it's a lot of frustration. Now, if you are doing this right now, do not worry. If you don't know of a better way, an easier way, it's not your fault, right? And that's kind of this whole point of this presentation today. But there is an easier way. I call it the atomic way. And that's because it's a scientific approach to selling and scaling your program. So the first thing that you got to have is total clarity on your avatar. Who do I serve and why? Now, most of you guys here already have that total clarity. You guys work with Terry Levine, you follow her, you consume her content, and she is one of the best in the business at helping you guys get clarity on this and what you do differently and how you can position yourself from your competition. So I'm not going to talk a ton about that today, right? Now, the second thing that you have to do is create your offer and pricing skeleton. Now, the reason why I call this a skeleton is because this is something that needs to be fluid. It's constantly changing. And this is merely just an outline of what you think you can sell it for. Now, once you create that offer, right, and that pricing skeleton, you have to test and you have to validate your offer, right? That you don't spend all this time, all this energy and resources behind the scenes trying to, put it together and create it so that you can then sell it, right? The best thing to do is to test and to validate, to even see if it's going to fly and to see what price point is going to work, right? And you do it over and over again via live webinars. We're going to talk about that today. And I call it rinse, wash, and repeat, because every single time that you guys do a live webinar or a presentation or you promote your offer and pricing skeleton, right, you're going to get feedback from people in real time. You're going to see if people are buying it. And you guys can also see that along the way in your funnel, if you are running ads or if people are registering from an email list, what the attendance rate is, what the registration rate is, and you can see if there's gaps in that process that you need to fix. Then what you do is you create your offer, okay? Once you've actually sold it, you've validated it, you've rinsed, washed, and repeat, you've got a lot of good data, then you create your offer. But at this point, now you're getting paid to do so. So you're not just spending your time to do it. You've already made money. You've already had people purchase your product and service and program, and now you're getting paid to create it. And, this is something that might seem foreign to you guys. What happens if somebody, for example, they don't know that I haven't created it yet? Tell them, be totally transparent. Say, listen, this is still, I'm still putting the finishing touches on it. It's going to be ready at X date in the future. And if you purchase now, I'm going to give you a special bonus or a special price, and you're going to get access to that product or that program, that offer that you've created at that date. So if you guys remember, if you were on Terry's Modern Coaching Method webinar, right, she said she gave herself 2-week runway to sell it, and then to actually create the product. And so by the time she was going to create that offer and create that actual product that she sold, she was already getting paid. Her time is so valuable. Your time is so valuable. You should not do anything unless you're getting paid to do it. And then, and only then, should you create your evergreen automated funnel. And the beautiful thing about this is now you know what people's concerns are, whether or not your product is actually resonating with your audience, how much you should actually be spending in ads, how much it really costs you to get a registration, to get a link click, to get somebody to attend, to get somebody to watch your whole webinar, and ultimately how much it costs to get somebody to purchase it. So now you're not going to be making guesses and say, hey, you know, I want to go make 50 grand on this launch, or I want to make $100,000 on this launch. And you say, well, I don't know what I should spend. Now you can literally reverse engineer that process, and you can say, well, it cost me maybe $1,000 to acquire a customer to get a course purchase. If I want to make $50,000, I need to, right? You basically do the math and reverse engineer it. So I hope this is making sense. Terry, do we have any comments or questions up to this point?
Basically, people are saying they totally need this. They've been waiting for this and they're ready.
Cool. Well, that's great. Also, if you guys have questions in the chat, I'm going to leave a lot of time for some comments and questions at the end. I am going to kind of blow through this here quickly, but I want to give you guys as much time as possible for questions. So step one, total clarity on your avatar. Like I said, if you don't have clarity on your avatar, you don't know who you serve or why you're special, I don't really know what to tell you. This is not really going to work for you. So this is something that you should already bring to the table as an expert, as a coach, as a consultant, as a business expert. Whatever you do, you should know what you do, why you do it, and that you're better at it than anybody else. So we're going to skip over this point. Now, step number two, this is where we're going to talk about creating your offer and your pricing skeleton. So if you have total clarity on your avatar, on what you do, on who you serve, the questions that they have, the pain points that they have, right? Now you can actually create an offer that's going to resonate with those individuals. Now, a couple things here, and I call it my 4 R's: revamp, reuse, recycle, recreate. A lot of people get stuck in this, it's not writer's block, it's a creative block. When they're trying to actually create the offer, they say, well, I don't know how to create something that's truly valuable. What should I include? How much should I price it for? All of the above. And what I'd say is there's a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. There's a couple of big no's that I've seen. And, you know, most every single person I've ever come in contact with, they err on the side of being perfectionists, right? They try to reinvent the wheel. They spend way too much time in analysis paralysis trying to get everything perfect, everything just right. And they feel this really intense pressure that they need to do something totally new, something that's never been done before. And those are my big no's, because nothing is going to kill your momentum. Nothing is going to kill this process faster than feeling like you have to do these things. You have to reinvent the wheel, do something totally new, and that you get stuck in analysis paralysis. So there's a couple things that you can do here that I call my big yeses, right? If you already are somebody who is an expert in what you do, you have old resources. Maybe they're old Zoom recordings that you've been on calls with individuals. Maybe you've created documents or lead magnets or tripwires or ebooks or past courses that you know have been very valuable for people. Go and revisit those, scour them, and see what you can dig up and what you can find, and see if there's anything that you can revamp, reuse, recycle, or recreate. Another thing is revisit positive experiences and feedback from your clients. No one better to give you ideas on what to put into an offer and what problems to solve than past clients that you've already helped and solved problems for. So if you know that, hey, you know, I serve, you know, people going through divorces, and I know that, you know, one of the main questions that they have is knowing how to deal with the kids and how to handle that relationship, right? If you were an expert in that, you can go revisit all of those positive experiences and find something that's truly going to provide the most value for your ideal avatar or client. Now, another thing is think of ways to spin old trainings and thoughts into new applications. You might have old things that you've created and that they might apply in different ways. So, you know, you can create something totally new. You can reinvent the wheel. But what I found is that if that's the only thing that you're using to create an offer, it's going to take way too much time. Time is of the essence. Done is the new perfect. So getting it done, creating something that's going to be valuable, and getting it out there is more valuable to your audience than you not creating anything. If you never get anything to market and it takes you forever to do so, you're never going to create impact. Now, here's another thing, and I'm going to just try to settle the score forever on high ticket and low ticket. And this is one of the biggest questions that I get. People say, how do I price? Well, number one, you should know that you can't just charge whatever you want. Typically, if you want to charge high ticket, right, you have to be in a special niche. And I actually took this from Frank Kern. He used this example. He says, you can't be teaching underwater basket weaving and expect to charge $10,000 for your program, right? Like if you do something that's very, very specific, very niche, but is considered like not a huge value add, or what you do doesn't actually help solve a problem where the value offsets it dramatically, then chances are you're not going to be able to charge really high ticket for that. So the reason why I put business, relationships, and health here is because typically and traditionally what I've seen is that businesses, if you're a business coach, or if you do business taxes, or you sell something or provide a service or expertise to businesses, that is something that you're going to be able to charge a much higher ticket for. Relationships is another thing that people are really willing to invest in, as well as health. Now, if you're not in these three categories, don't say, crap, Tanner said I can't charge high ticket. No, not at all, right? I'm just saying that traditionally, these are the ones that allow you to charge high ticket. Now, the second point, you guys are probably thinking, wait a second, he's talking about how to charge high ticket, and he's saying to price cheap. Isn't that a little bit of an oxymoron? And to your point, yes. Here's the reason why. No matter what you sell, no matter what your course is priced at, it has to be considered mice nuts or really low on the value add. You have to provide so much more value. So it has to be priced cheap relative to the value that you're providing to somebody. Let me give you an example, right? I used that divorce example in the past. If you are coaching up somebody on, helping them go through divorce, right? You can potentially charge $10,000, $20,000 for your program because, divorces are really expensive. And if somebody has a huge net worth, that divorce may cost them millions of dollars. So in comparison, if you can help save them millions of dollars, right? Charging $20,000 for that is going to be considered nothing at all. On the flip side of that, if you are charging $5,000, $10,000 for maybe your business expertise, and you know that through your business expertise, you're going to help somebody create, hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue, or save hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue in their business, for you to charge $5,000, $10,000 for your program is nothing, because the value offsets the price of your program significantly. So it really just comes down to examining what your value add is. How much are you really going to help somebody accomplish? What are you going to do? And does the value offset the cost of your course? And it always needs to be really cheap on that spectrum. So for example, if you're teaching somebody a skill or a hobby that they really can never monetize, I hate to break it to you, but you're going to have a very hard time ever charging high ticket for that. You might be in a couple $100 range because it's a hobby and it's something that people can never really monetize. The value really isn't there. Now, this third point, and this is the most important one. Ooh, so let me go back. Is how do you know when to price? The truth is, why guess when you can test? If we go back to the atomic way, the easy way to sell and scale your program, right? You're going to be doing live webinars, and you're going to be rinsing, washing, and repeating the process. So you can continue to test different price points with different offers, and you can see what resonates well. You're going to find a sweet spot if you do this correctly, where, man, I tried selling it for this price. I didn't get anyone to buy. Maybe I bring it down a little bit, and for whatever reason, at that price point, that was the sweet spot, and people started to buy it for that. So ultimately, right, you can think that your product and service is worth whatever you think it is, but it's only worth what people are willing to pay for it, which is why we do this process, so you can continue to test and understand exactly what that is. Once again, it's a science. We have to go with our best foot forward, but we have to test and implement scientifically. So step number 3, testing and validating your offer. right? Once again, we never go evergreen until we know what your KPIs are. So this is an example of a screenshot from Terry's Webinar Jam account. And this was the live modern coaching method launch that we did. You can see that we had, 993 visitors to the landing page. We had a 21% sign up rate. There were 215 people that registered. We had 49 live attendees. We had 61 replay attendees. And here's the stats on those that were into the webinar. So, right, this data that you're going to collect is going to be so crucial, because this is going to allow you to see where there might be gaps, see where there might need to be things that you can implement and improve on. So right away, I'm saying, man, that show up rate was a little bit low. We had 215 people registered, only 49 people showed. I wonder if we maybe implemented some better emails in between the registration and the live webinar, if we could have maybe got some more people to attend. I wonder if maybe we did it on a different day, right? We did it on a Wednesday. I wonder if we did it on the Thursday and we maybe did it at night, if, for example, that'd be a better time. So these are the types of things that you need to do when you're testing and validating your product. Now, number one right here, it says get paid to create your course. That's number one, right? You're never going to actually ever create anything until you make money on it, until you get paid to create that product. So if you do a live webinar, right, and you don't get anyone to buy, you have no more work to do in terms of creating that product. Your work is now going back to the drawing board and saying, man, where are those gaps that we need to fill? Did we spend money on ads? If so, how much money did we spend? And were the ads resonating? Were we targeting the right audience, right? These are all of the questions that you have to ask yourself. Now, when I say reverse engineer your funnel, I already hit on that a little bit a couple slides ago, but essentially what you're doing is once you're getting people to actually purchase your program, you can reverse engineer the whole thing and look at what all of your costs are relative to the amount of revenue that you brought in. So if it's something that's really good, right, and you like how those numbers line up, then you can say, let's do it again. Let's double down. Let's maybe put a little bit more spend into it, or let's, put more effort into what we did last time and see if we can increase, and if those numbers, those KPIs are going to hold. Now, it's really important when you're doing your first couple webinars, right? You don't need to spend a ton of money on marketing. In fact, you don't need to spend hardly any money at all. You can use organic methods if you have those. And Terry, this is something that we did with her modern coaching method. We made $42,000 and we spent, I think it was $213 in ads. Can you quote me on that?
Yeah, that's correct. Exactly correct.
Exactly. So you may not have a huge organic reach, and that's fine, but you can do everything that you possibly can to fill that funnel, to get people into that first funnel, that webinar, and seeing what your numbers are. Now, like I said, after you truly understand this, you can slowly ramp up and increase your marketing spend, because that's truly the only way to scale this thing up. You can't go organic forever. You eventually have to start, trading money and paying to get eyeballs. But once you've got it down to a science, right, then you can confidently take it evergreen. And, I'm not against evergreen webinars. I think evergreen webinars and funnels are the best thing ever because they take yourself completely out of it. But you can only go evergreen once you actually validate, test, and know exactly what your KPIs are. So we talked about step number 4, rinse, wash, and repeat. That's essentially, like I just said in that last slide, you just do the same process over and over again until you understand exactly what your KPIs are, exactly what you need to spend in order to acquire a customer. And, typically I see people do 4, 5 live webinars before they truly dial in this process. And until they truly feel confident in pitching this process, it takes time and it takes reps, it takes repetitions, right? If you're a professional athlete, you're not going to just expect to go run the 100-yard dash, right, and have it be perfect the first time around, or even, run a play the first time and have it be perfect. That's why athletes practice. You essentially are, doing the same thing. You're perfecting your process. So you have to test it. You have to rinse, wash, and repeat it. And then, like I say, step number 4 is creating your offer. Now, we're not going to talk about this today just because we don't have a ton of time. I want to leave time for questions. But this also is something that is a science in and of itself, and how you can create that offer and all of the different offers that you can create. I recommend creating offers that allow you to take yourself out of the process as much as possible and to try to create things that are truly scalable. That's another thing I will just kind of hit on here quickly. If you're watching this and you felt like, man, I've started to acquire clients or I'm starting to sell this thing, but it's just too time consuming, and you create a monster for yourself where you have to put so much time and effort to fulfill, you really should be creating courses and products and offers that can run and be sustainable with or without you. Now that's also tough because, what if I'm running mastermind groups or this, that, or the other, right? Once again, it totally depends, but I like to err on the side of scalability rather than feeling like I have to just throw everything in the kitchen sink at this offer to try to get it to sell. You'll be surprised if you do this the right way and you get those reps in and those repetitions in and you sell it correctly, right? And everything lines up, how well these products and these services will sell. You don't have to give everything in the kitchen sink, like I say, to get people to purchase your products. And then step number 5, then we take it evergreen. Right now that we've got the course created, we have the recorded webinars done and perfected. We've got data that backs them up. We have metrics and data on all of the advertising and the whole funnel. Now we can confidently take that funnel evergreen, and we can spend money confidently knowing that we've already made money on it. So, you're not trying to put together a tiny marketing budget to test this out and realize that, man, I'm not getting any sales. Why? Well, it's because this hasn't been validated and proven yet. You're never going to sell this and scale it accordingly if you start with the evergreen funnel. So that's essentially it, guys. I have a little offer here for all of you that are watching. Everyone in Terry's program and network is going to basically get access to my Atomic Courses program. It's going to be $5,000. I want to sell it for 10. So if you jump on board before August 1st, that's when my Atomic Courses program goes live. You will get access to all of the modules, bonus modules, updated modules. You'll get access 3 30-minute one-on-one coaching calls with me, talking about your offer, talking about your program, and any questions that you have in terms of that. It's an 8-week-long program. When I say that, I say, it's designed to basically take you from 0 to launching your first webinar in 8 weeks. And you also get exclusive access to all of my Atomic Sheets, documents, and assets. If you want to learn more about that, check out atomic-courses.com. It's basically in the bottom right. But, this isn't a sales pitch. I want to make an offer to you guys. And if it's something that resonates with you, great. I'd love for you to jump on board. But the time is now yours to ask me any questions.
All right, gang. So ask questions, and Tanner, when you go into the chat, you can drop that in there. She's ready. Denise says, yes, ready, Tanner. We've got Norman who says, love the whole Atomic thing, which I do also. I think it rocks and it's phenomenal. We've had a lot of people saying, do this, great points. You've covered great things, and they've kind of restated your notes. So who's got some questions? And Velma, my note taker, or Denise, can you drop the link in the chat as well?
The link is in the chat to the sales page. So if you guys want to go and jump on board to get access to the Atomic Courses program, it's in the chat. I'll see you guys on the inside August 1.
Great. I see.
Sandy did sign up yesterday. Sandy and Denise are signed up. I'm excited to work with you guys.
Way to go. Atomic webinars, boom. I agree, Velma. And, some of you do know that I am doing the Modern Coaching Method again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. So we're actually doing exactly the things that Tanner has talked about here. We are tweaking. I didn't create the course until we were sure we had sales. We're not going evergreen before we've tested and tweaked. And we are, rinse, repeating, and we're testing and validating the offers. And we are pricing in a way that allows us to gather data, and transparently, we've even shared the data. So what is the one thing that really differentiates your webinar course from all the others, Norman is asking? Good question.
Yeah, good question, Norman. There's a lot out there. I would say it's not just a webinar course. It really is. The webinar is one small component in that process, right? And that's how you validate that initial offer. But it basically takes you from having an idea, having something that you want to monetize and expertise, and then literally being able to validate it, get money, prove that it works, and then scale it, right? Completely scale that up and run it evergreen. So we cover everything from Facebook ads, right? There's a ton of atomic worksheets that help you get clarity on that offer. The webinar is a big point, and Terry will talk to you about that. She's done webinars for 30 years, but the atomic webinar is very specific and is designed to validate quickly. So hope that answers your question, Norman.
Let me mention a couple things about that. The worksheets were extremely helpful. And as some of you here at Heartpreneur, who are client family members know, we also have a done for you service after you've gone through the worksheets. If you're like, hey, just do the webinar for me, we have someone on our team who can do the webinar for you. However, you have to go through those worksheets. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And the reason I believe my webinars are working so well, whether it's a TL webinar, Promising Profits, or tomorrow's Modern Coaching Method, is because of the secret sauce behind all this, which are all the atomic worksheets and the process that we've used to put that together. Let's see. We've got Norman says, thanks, or should I say boom? I love that. Denise has put up the link. Thank you, Denise. Look at this. And then we've got Velma putting up the link. We've got everyone putting up the link. So I want to say something else. Yes, I know how to do webinars. I've been doing webinars, since their inception. And yes, I've been teaching other people how to do them. However, I didn't have this secret with the Atomic webinar, with the worksheets, with the step-by-step hand-holding that I get from Tanner. So some of you may think, oh, Terry just does all this by herself, and I'm here to reveal. No, I don't. I'm here to reveal that Tanner has been the one helping me. And yes, we have run some Facebook ads for the Modern Coaching Method, as Tanner showed you last time, and again this time. Not a huge ad spend, getting really good results, how to dial it in and tweak it. That is not my area. That is 100% Tanner's area. And so when I have somebody who's in the background is kind of my secret sauce, which Tanner, you definitely are for me, I want everyone to know how that's getting done. And all of this thing. What is this man's name? Tanner Smith.
Tanner Smith.
Tanner Smith is his name, Robert. And the other thing, some of you know me better than others. I don't, randomly endorse people. It takes a lot for me to endorse anyone. And if I come and I bring someone to you on a Facebook Live, that is because I want you to have the best tools, the best information that I have. And Robert says, thanks, Tanner. There you go.
Yeah.
Great. Good.
So one thing I'll say about that too, Terry, and really in terms of like what I do, right? So Terry could have easily said, because I've been working with Terry for a long time, she could have easily said, you know what, I have my system, I have my process, I don't need to do anything else. Let's just double down on what's been working for me. And she's coachable enough. She really practices what she preaches. She's coachable enough to try things out that are maybe a little bit different, AKA my process. And, we're seeing the fruits of that because it is working and because it is something that has been proven. So anyways, any questions you guys have for me? I know Norman left a great question. Any questions you guys have?
Ask now, because it's unusual that we've been able to steal Tanner away and to come and join us here. So any other questions? Is anybody, on the fence? Should I sign up? Shouldn't I sign up? Does anybody have any specific questions about webinars, automated webinars, pricing, Facebook courses, Facebook help, Facebook ads? Tanner does, just so you know, transparently, he does my landing pages, which again, everything is based on his atomic worksheets. Okay, so after I fill out the atomic worksheets, then we know what's going to need to go up there. So Denise is asking, anything we should prepare before the course? Great question, Denise.
Just your heart and your mind's ready for molding. I'm gonna mold and shape your guys' development. It's gonna be great. What I will say too, one thing that separates the atomic method and the atomic program is that the way that we run ads is going to be totally different than a lot of other Facebook courses. So there's a lot of Facebook courses that are dedicated and media buying courses that are dedicated to maybe e-commerce stores or to selling physical products. The way that we've had to shift and pivot in the last 2 years, especially on Facebook with the Cambria Analytical scandal. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but look it up. And with iOS 14 updates, is you have to err on the side of providing value. So, right, my Facebook method really walks you through the process of building rapport and goodwill with your audience, creating content that is going to be very valuable, right? You're not being a digital clipboard salesman. A lot of you guys have maybe heard me say that before, but you're approaching people in a way and helping them in a way to where they naturally want to follow you. So we're not wasting money on people that aren't interested in this process. We're finding that audience and we're trying to take them by the hand step by step and walk them through this funnel and this process. So Regina, when is the best day and time to run a live webinar? Totally depends on your audience and your offer and what you're going to. If your product is for like single moms that are trying to start a business, maybe middle of the day during nap time might be really good, I've seen. However, most of the time, Thursdays are the best. Fridays and Saturdays get tough. People are wrapping up things in the workplace or wrapping things up. Saturdays are out doing stuff with family. Thursdays kind of that sweet spot where, getting towards the end of the work week, they want to maybe watch a webinar. So I'd say, Thursday, Wednesday at Eastern Standard Time is always a great time to start and test with that.
And I'll just say real quickly, we're testing also, right? So last time we ran the webinar, I think on a Friday at a particular time. Now we're doing a Wednesday. So you can also change it up and you can see where you're getting the best results. Robert asks, when is the best time to collect money? I have an answer. I'll let Tanner answer.
As soon as possible, man. As soon as possible. One in the hand is better than two in the bush. So if somebody's really serious about the product and the program, and if you've done a great job to collect, and you really feel like you genuinely are going to help that person, it's a good fit, you should try to collect as soon as possible. Literally what I'm doing right now, I'm throwing it out there. There's my program, $5,000. If this resonates with you, if you feel like this is taught a lot about the process, then I would hope that you would join. And if not, man, no worries. I wish you the best of luck. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think immediately as soon as possible is the best time. Don't be afraid to ask for money. Don't be afraid to ask for the sell. And I personally approach it with all of my clients. If there is a hesitancy to get a credit card or to ask for the sell, you truly are doing a disservice to your prospect if you don't get their money. Because if you don't get their money, they're going to be stuck in whatever challenge or problem or situation that they're currently in. And your product, your course, your knowledge is going to help them bridge the gap from where they are to where they want to get. So don't be ashamed to ask for that card.
Yeah. And Sandy says, how long do you wait with analyzing your statistics to change something? Good question.
Yeah, so it's really real time. What I would say is before you make drastic changes, though, there really should be red flags. So I'm going to teach you in the program, what are some things that, are red flags? What are those red flags to look out for? When do you know that you need to tweak and change something? So let me give you a perfect example. If your ads are doing $5 a registration, it's costing you $5 to get a registration. That's pretty good, right? Especially for a niche down audience. And then let's say the next webinar, it was, $6.25. That's not super crazy enough to swap out all of the ads and try something completely new. That's not something I would change up the audience for, right? Like those are still really good results. However, if you were getting $5 a registration, the next webinar you were getting maybe $12 or $10, I'm like, whoa, we just doubled our registration costs. Is our audience getting too small? Did the ads run out of steam? We need to obviously change and implement some new things there. Because a doubling in cost is definitely something that's a red flag. So I would say making sure that you're in there in the daily basis in the weeds in your Facebook ads manager, looking at your Webinar Jam account. You're honestly always aware of what your costs are and where they need to be for you to make money on your webinar. That's when you need to make tweaks and changes. So hopefully that answers your question. It's a little bit vague, but it's tough for me to say exactly without looking at your individual offer and your product.
Yeah, one of the things that Tanner and I noticed, and obviously we're always monitoring our Facebook ads, is some of our ads weren't converting that well. So we turned those ads off. And just recently we turned on some additional ads, and those ads are crushing it right now. So there is tweaking involved, just like there's tweaking involved in creating the webinar. There's tweaking involved. Those of you who are coming to Modern Coaching Method webinar tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, It's not exactly the same as the last one because there's tweaks, there's changes. You'll see there's actually quite a bit different. Sandy says it sounds a bit like the stock market. Yeah, you have to check in on it, right? You don't just put money in the stock market and go, gee, hope that's working. You check, you make sure. I don't want to just keep giving Facebook money if it's not working. And then when we tweaked it and now it's like, wow, these are really dialed in, then we've got something that we can rinse and repeat. And at some point, maybe they won't work. And then we just model it again. So, I just want to say something really clear. I get asked all the time in this group. We've got like 6,200 wonderful entrepreneur family members. And people always ask me, can you help me with Facebook ads? Can you help me with my avatar? Can you help me design? And my answer to all of that is I'm not the tech person. I'm not. And that's why I have Tanner. I have a tech person. I'm the person who can fill out the worksheets, know what the content is that I'll deliver, understand the pieces that go in my course. I'm not the one who is behind the scenes, okay? And all of you, you've probably heard me say this if you've been in this family for any period of time. It is really important to me that you're sitting in the CEO chair. And ask yourself this question, if it was Steve Jobs, would he be going, well, let me look at what we should do with a Facebook ad and let's create our webinars. And no, he is the visionary and was the visionary and the CEO. That's the chair you need to sit in. So, to me, this is a very, very minimal investment. And Tanner, close your ears. That's a very minimal investment.
Dang it, the price just went up. My price just went up.
Thank you for doing it at that investment and really will help make a difference. And Denise, you also, you totally said, stay in your zone of genius. My zone of genius is not, let me put together the webinar and the landing page and let me think about the Facebook ads. That is not my zone of genius. And monitoring these things, not my zone of genius. I stay in my lane. And I want all of you to be sitting in the CEO chair. And that means that you need someone to help you learn the tech, right? So let me say this also. Some of you said to me recently, well, do you know how to do Facebook ads? So my answer is yes. I did Facebook ads before I brought Tanner in. We've been together quite a while now. And they bombed. I'm being totally honest. There was one that wasted $17,500, literally, because I didn't even know how to pay attention to it. And I thought I was making money. Now, Tanner and I had some, I'm not saying you're all going to replicate this or that Tanner and I will do it again. I do want to tell you, you do need to understand it, that we had one that was a $50 ad spend on Facebook. And I landed a new client in Promising Profits a couple of months ago for $18,500. That was a pretty good win, $50 for almost 19 grand. That doesn't happen all the time. In the past, I didn't know to monitor that. I was easily giving Facebook $17,000 and I didn't know what I didn't know. So, Denise, I think what you said is really brilliant. You do have to understand it. I understand it. I can have high-level conversations with Tanner. I'm just sitting in the CEO chair and I'm not doing all of the moving pieces at all times. Nice ROI. Yeah, I'll say so, Robert. We'll take that again and again.
So what I'll say on top of that too, kind of in addition to that, so this course, this program is designed at the end of it, after you go through it, you're going to either be able to run all of the stuff yourself, set up the landing pages, run your ads if you want to. B, right, you can then or hire somebody else to do it for you, and you can have those high level conversations and you can know what's going on, what you need to look for, if somebody's doing a good job or if they're not. And just full transparency here, my goal is that you go through this course, you go through this program, right? And you will understand everything that you need to understand, but you're like, I don't want to do it. You're exactly like Terry, and you'll just hire me and my agency to do it for you. And that's exactly why I'm trying to purchase, trying to get you guys to purchase at a lower price point, because I feel like if you can come into the program, truly understand the process, it's going to be a win-win. And, we can have a great relationship moving forward, and you'll hire me for all of your other stuff that you need me to do. So anyways.
Velma says, no enough so they can't put the wool over your eyes, which is true. Robert asked me, is this for newbies or whatever? Everyone should just be on the modern coaching method. And the truth is, because you're actually going to see how I actually am implementing what Tanner and I are talking about. Tomorrow's webinar is not the same as the one that we did back in May. We took the information and we literally sat down, and there's a lot that's different in the webinar. You will experience that tomorrow. Tanner walks his talk. So everything that he's telling you that he teaches and to do is exactly what we're doing. And Sandy, yes, thank you for that. Give referrals to Tanner in the future. In fact, gang, you know what? It'd be really awesome, as far as I'm concerned, if you would share for anybody who's not watching right now and who you're like, hey, I don't know if they registered, but this is somebody that I do know.
Looks like we lost Terry. Oh no. Hopefully she comes back soon. Guess it's just me. It's time for my close-up. Any questions here, Sandy? I would definitely appreciate any referrals in the future. That'd be great. I think what Terry was going to say is that, anyone that found this video useful or helpful, it would be awesome if you could promote it. You could share it on your page. You could, maybe tag people that you know that this could truly benefit and help. That would all be amazing. I'm actually going to shoot Terry a text really quick and see if she's going to hop back in here. You dropped off.
All right, sorry about that. I dropped off. What I wanted to finish with, yeah, we all of a sudden had a glitch. I just wanted to finish real quick. Who do you know that should know what Tanner is doing, right? And I really, really want you guys to share this. Like, if anyone isn't in our group or anyone missed this that you know, hey, they should really watch this or they should be on the course, just tell them to do it, okay? Just tell them to do it. What are the numbers now? I think we're up to, I can't remember exactly what it was, 159 registrants, something like that. By tomorrow, we'll probably be at 250. And yeah, sorry about that. We had a little, I cut Tanner off, sorry. So we're gonna end here. By the way, all of you, at 10 minutes from now, I have Itzik here to do a live Q&A, about a 10-minute Q&A. Highly recommend that you come. So anyone that missed this, anyone that you want to share the link with, Sandy had said referrals, refer on over to Tanner and do it immediately. All right, sorry about that little interruption with Facebook. I'll see you at 10 minutes from now, right here with Itzik for a live Q&A on how do you build your client list, basically by doing relationship marketing. It's going to be awesome. I'll see you in a few. You're very welcome. Bye for now.